I must confess that my thunder has been stolen, and so I have to ride on somebody's back. With the protocols already established, recognizing the presence of our esteemed Executive Secretary IGAD, our newly appointed Cabinet Secretary, Mrs. Cheptumo, PS, a long-standing friend of mine, Dr. Korir, and all here present, all the peacemakers here present. It makes me a very poor reader when somebody like Dr. Workne has read a very long speech, and so I'm going to be very brief. And I want to thank you for making my speech to be brief. But I stand here to welcome all of you, first of all, to our country, Kenya, and to say thank you all the delegates that have come from the IGAD region. The IGAD family is complete, and even if one is absent, majority always have their say. The issue of the Council of Eminent Persons is something that its time came, and it was born nearly 2 years ago under the leadership of our able Executive Secretary, Dr. Workne. Talking of harnessing indigenous knowledge and leadership to deal with the issues that persist and continue to bedevil our region, the continent, and the world at large cannot be more emphasized. Right across the globe, and when we talk about insecurity, lack of peace, sometimes we think of those which are far away. We think of Middle East, we think of Ukraine, or somewhere in West Africa, or somewhere in the Pacific. But right here at home, in our region, IGAD, we have enough in our hands to cause us who are here present to think and say and ask the question, what are we going to hand over to our grandchildren? Are we going to give them a tattered region, or we will restore tomorrow for our children and for our children's children? And these problems cut across. Some are natural, some are man-made. When floods strike, when famine is there, and people move from one place to another, when climate change affects our cycle of planting crops, and so forth. Imagine how even development itself is devastated. So we are not only thinking about the peace between ourselves, not to fight against each other, but also how to harness what we know to deal with those areas which are natural, so to speak. And so as we sit, we need to come up with a strategic plan of action. And that action has to be based on that indigenous knowledge we have. And the knowledge we have is not from a book written by a scholar from the West or from the East, but written by our scholars of old. The knowledge and wisdom that has been bestowed upon us, and it has been diluted by what we call the acquired knowledge from the West, sometimes puts us in a very awkward situation. But we need to come out of the old box of the Western conceptualized way of dealing with problems, but come home. In Kenya, we have many tribes, but there is one common ground. When it comes to peace, there is no peace but peace. Ethiopia, many tribes. South Sudan, many tribes, and so forth. When it comes to peace, it is nothing but peace. No peace belongs to another group which does not belong to the other. Otherwise, it is not peace. And so we call upon ourselves in a sitting like this, as we think about our region, as we think about the presentations, that what are we going to do? How are we going to think out of the box? Because we have been boxed in. We need to be innovative. We need to be imaginative. We need to be creative so that we can move forward. And so as I stand here, and as you have been told of my name, and as the chairman of the IGAD Council of Eminent Personalities, and sometimes maybe some of you glanced at my varying address. Some call me Major General, others call me Major Sei. I think I deserve both of them. And so I do not want anybody in the official capacity of the government of Kenya to say, Major Sei usurped a rank and called himself Major General. Thank you for the mistake you made, the Secretariat of IGAD office. I really appreciate that. Your Excellency, I'm very happy about that. And you may as well call me that name as we go along. There will be no problem. And so, I can stand here, and many of us can stand here and articulate. But as it has been said, this is the time for action. But we have to act on something. We have to create so that we can act upon it. And so I want to call upon all the members of the IGAD Council of Eminent Persons, both the officials and the invited guests. Take a moment and say, if you are to be given an opportunity to say something here. And thank you, Professor Zacchaeus. I appreciate you very sincerely. If each one of us was to be asked, what is the best way to solve this problem? Let me tell you, we will come out with answers from this room. None of us is just a spectator here. We are all in active service. And for that reason, put your mind on a high gear to think and say, what am I going to contribute towards the discussion of this forum? So that when we leave here, the office of the Executive Secretary, the staff will be able to put together something that is going to be workable. For the African culture is very rich. And to solve conflicts, we don't refer to a book. We refer to our history. And so I want to wish all of you, those who will take the floor to discuss, and those who will be taking notes, and when it comes to that moment of contribution, your one statement matters a lot. Nobody here is of less value than the other. You have what it takes to solve our problems. We have what it takes to solve our problems. Our region, as it is, and the vision and mission of IGAD as a whole, if we take our role, play our part, then sooner we will achieve those visions and missions. They are one, not many missions, not many visions. It's one. And so, may I say what an honor it is to give this address and say, fellow Africans, this is our land. When we were young, we sang the song. And the song went like this. Which way, Africa? Which way, my continent? Which way, Africa? I want to know. This is my continent. And we can say, this is our region. I want to know which way to go. We have to define and move together. Not for your sake, or even for your children, but so that we have something to hand over to our great-grandchildren. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Major Say.